All right, so let's start. So thank you all for joining me. I got like maybe 97 registered, but turned up only how many? Let me see. Turned up maybe only 16, but it's okay lah. Right, that's the thing with free activities, right? People will just take it for granted. But anyway, thank you all for joining me today. I'll try to make your 1 hour worthwhile lah. Okay. So this sharing is, I would like to do it in a very interactive manner. So when I ask question, I do hope that you can interact, right? You can drop your replies in the chat window lah. Okay. Today is just to share with you what I know, right? What I practice in order to make an impactful presentation lah, right? So a bit about me. So this is me. I'm a fashion engineer. I'm an engineering lecturer. I've also conducted training in several areas, including teaching how to teach, right? Engineering education, how to present better. But in terms of the technical area, I'm more into lightning protection, okay, and also professional development, right? So let's see. Okay. So my first question to all of you is, okay, in this era, right? I think all of you know what is the era that we are living now, AI. Okay. Can you put in the chat window if you have used AI? You just say yes. If you have used AI in your life, in your work, right, or for anything, right? You just say yes. You just want to get a feel, right? So far, 4 out of 17. So what about the rest? 13 of you have not used AI in your life? Okay, 6. Okay, very interesting. That means another half of you have not used AI in your life. Okay, never mind, right? So, okay, in this era of AI that we are living now, right? Which skill do you think is more important? Your presentation skill, that means your ability to actually talk and convince people or make people understand, or your writing skill? Which skill is more important? There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, you can say, you can type P if you think presentation skill is more important. You can type W if you think writing skill is more important. Okay, can I have some answers? Okay, only one P. What about the rest of you? Both, okay? Fair. P. P, okay. 3 Ps, both. Which one is more important now? Okay, if you type both means you think both are equally important, right? But if you type P, maybe you think both are important, but presentation is more important. Okay. So I mean, personally, I would think that presentation skill now, right, is more important. It's even more important than writing, simply because writing you can actually tell AI to do for you, right? If you agree with me, right? So you just tell AI to do a report for you, do some article for you. They can do fantastic job, right? Even better than you, even better than me, lah. I don't know about you, right? But at the end of the day, right, you can even ask AI to generate the slides for you. Okay, but at the end of the day, you are the one who has to do the presentation, right? AI cannot do for you, right? If you are a teacher, right, can you ask AI to teach for you? No, right? Maybe you can ask your students to go and watch YouTube video or watch online video, but that is nowhere near to the actual teaching, because in the actual classroom setting, you can actually engage with your students live, right? But on the online, you can't. right? So personally, I would think that writing skill is also very important, but with the era of AI, right, the importance actually gets disrupted, right? So that is my thinking, okay. I still need to add someone in. All right. So okay, thank you for the engagement. Now, my next question to you. What makes a presentation successful? You can type anything, right? Maybe you have listened to a podcast or you have attended a show, a talk show. You have maybe attended a lecture, or maybe there's a teacher, right, during your primary school where you still can remember what he or she has stated to you or said something to you, and you still can remember until today. Now, I understand some of you are very young, okay? Some of you are like me, a bit old, right? But I do believe you have attended at least one presentation session where you think you still can remember, right? So what is the characteristic? What do you think makes the presentation so successful that you can still remember, Okay. I mean, we are all Malaysians here, so you want to type in Malay also can, right? Kita boleh guna bahasa rojak juga lah, right? So you can type in Malay or English, up to you. But don't type in Chinese. I cannot read Chinese. Right? Okay, first you say that yeah, you're able to make the audience understand your message. Yes, that's a very important skill. Okay, straight to the point. Yes, sometimes you attended a session, right? The speaker just talk east, talk west, talk north, talk south, but then at the end you don't know what's the point, right? So that is also not a very good presentation. Okay, interesting presentation. Yes, many of us are visual, right? We like what we see, right? If we see that the slides are very nicely designed, then you will be attracted to it, and then we can retain better. Okay. Others, what are the other characteristics? Only three of you, or the rest of you have not attended a very impactful presentation before. Okay. I do hope that more engagement can be done. Otherwise, it will be very dull, right? Otherwise, your session here will be very dull. You just listen to me talking and you won't learn anything. So I do appreciate if more of you can participate, right? 16 of you, right? There's a reason why I ask you this kind of question, right? When I ask you this kind of question, I'm forcing you to reflect. I'm forcing you to think, right? And if you think, if you reflect, then I'm pretty sure that after this 1 hour session, you can still remember some of the points that we have gone through today. Okay, maybe I can wait for another one or two more responses before I proceed. So this is the way I conduct my session. And I think if you are a trainer, right, if you need to present regularly, right, it's also very important for you to regularly engage with your audience, right? Okay, voice tone, not reading from slide. Yes, I admit I have a very flat tone, okay, but I can assure you I'm not reading from the slide, okay? So thanks for all the engagement. So, okay, the topic of today's session, right, is actually not entirely from me, right? In fact, I got the inspiration from this book, right, Made to Stick by this author. You can Google this idea, why some ideas survive and others die, right? But the thing is, this book, this author, he actually came up with success without the last S. Okay, only 6 letters. And then later on, Prof. Mushtaq from Heriot Watt University, Malaysia, he actually added the last S. So in total, we have 7 letters success, right? So, but he is looking at how to embed success into teaching and learning. Okay, but I think that it can be extended even further. okay, to presentation. And that is exactly why I try to import their ideas and try to share with you how to make a presentation successful, how to make it stick, right? How to make it stick with you, right? Okay, so I'm going to unveil the first letter, right? But I'll show you a few images. Okay, what is this? What is this? Cat, right? Very straightforward. You can immediately visualize it as cat. Although you don't see any whiskers, any fur, right? No color, right? No paws, no eyes, no mouth. But you can tell me it is cat, correct? Okay, next one. What is this? Car, right? Cat. You change the letter T, you become R, right? Then becomes car. Okay, so we know it straight away, right? It's a very straightforward drawing, right? Not many lines, not many shapes, but yet we can straightly identify it as a car, right? What about this one? Right? So coconut tree, exactly, right? So you don't need to be very complicated. You don't even need to add colors, right? You don't need to make it visually aesthetic, right? Very nicely, very beautifully painted or colored or drawn, right? So now I've shown you these three objects, right? And these three actually related to the first S, the first letter of the success. Can you guess what is the first S based on these three drawings? Exactly. You see, straight away you can tell me the answer already. I don't need to tell you. I don't need to even put any single word. Simple, right? Keep it simple, right? When you design your slides, when you want to get your points across, just keep it simple, right? Use as little words as possible, right? Straight to the point. Just be straight to the point. You don't want to make people second guess what you are talking about, right? You don't want your slides to be sending a different message or signal to your audience, right? So exactly, right? I don't even need to put any definition, put any words. Straight away, simple, you can already guess it. Okay, so in a slide, I mean, assuming that you are making presentation slides, right? Reduce the number of words, right? Keep it to maybe 3 bullet points in every slide, okay? Make it as simple as possible. You see, if you can explain something in a very simple manner, right? That means you really understand 100%, 200% of what you are explaining. Okay? The moment you add some words, you twist here and there, right? You put in some fillers, that shows that you actually do not fully understand what you are trying to say. Okay? So it's actually a skill, you know. Although I say keep your presentation simple, it is actually a skill. Right? Okay, please mute your mic. Sorry, those who are, can you please mute your mic? I think I have to do something. Let me see who is speaking. Mute. Okay, done. Right. So actually it's a skill, you know, it's not easy to make something simple in your expression. Okay. I can even test you, right? If it's proven already. If I ask you to write something to describe something, right, in the shortest manner, it's more difficult than you write it in a paragraph, because in a paragraph, maybe you need to add some words, you have to put a story lah, all these things. But the truth is, if you want to keep it straight to the point, it's more difficult. You can try it on your own, right? It's more difficult to write an abstract, to write a short sentence to describe something with the least number of words, compared to, keep on writing and elaborating just to get your points across. Okay, so first letter, you got it right. So it's simple. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, I show you something. What is this? What is your feeling when you see this? Any one of you actually tried this recipe before? Have you tried this recipe before? I have not lah. I have not. Okay, right. Okay. Any one of you tried before? No, okay. Okay. I was expecting no's lah, right? But if someone suddenly said yes, then then you'll be very interesting. Okay, right. Okay, what about this? What do you notice in the second picture? What do you notice, like, what do you notice first in the second picture? Right, so what makes you think that it is abnormal? Okay, I think you said abnormal is because of the Milo and Maggie lah, right? Okay, so we are done with the Milo and Maggie. Now we move on to the next picture. Okay, is the picture interesting to you? What's interesting about the picture? Can you tell me? What is not usual? Is there anything not usual, or it's a normal picture? It's a normal. What do you think? Okay, I give you some time. Right. The Joker, right? The clown. Right, the Joker, the clown is a bit unusual, right? We don't usually see a clown or a Joker in a basketball court watching a few players playing a game of basketball, correct? So yes, I think both of you have rightly pointed out. Okay, so now the second letter, right? U, right? Success, right? SUCCESS. Now the U. So what do you think the U stands for based on these two pictures? Of course, you don't go and Google lah. You don't go and ask AI, okay, what is success? No lah. Okay, you just stay focused with me, right? We try to do it on our own. Don't go and ask AI. Okay, not understanding, but unusual is very close, right? Right? The answer is very close to unusual. Okay, it is un. The un is correct. Okay, but the second part is wrong. What do you think? You can keep guessing. It's not unusual. It's close to unusual. Let me see. There are 10 letters. 10 letters. This word is what? 10 letters. Okay, I give you 1 more minute lah. If you cannot get, I'll review the answer. Okay, try. So far, you all have done well lah. Okay. Okay. Yes, exactly. Unexpected. The answer is unexpected. Right? Do you expect people to put Milo on a pot of Maggie? No. Right? At least not for me lah. Right? And do you expect a clown to appear on a basketball court? No. Right? So unexpected. Right? So if you can, during your presentation session, during your speaking session, if you can put your point across in an unexpected manner, right? You can use like wordplay. You can use a few strategies, right? Maybe you're talking about topic A, right? A topic, but suddenly you try to relate it to something that is totally unexpected, but then you are able to relate it to that topic, right? So this will actually give a very strong impact in your presentation, because we human beings, right? We are actually naturally inclined to identifying something that is unusual first. Okay. Same like if I ask you, I show you a cup of milk, right? With one piece of Cocoa Crunch there. I'm sure you would notice the Cocoa Crunch first. Then only you notice the milk. Okay, so we are very used to things which are unexpected, right? So that's why, if possible, okay, when you talk about something, right? When you talk about, let's say, your experience with, okay, how to be a good hiker, right? Hiking, okay? Maybe you can relate it to a price hike, right? It's the same word, hike. Hike means increase, right? Maybe you can relate it to inflation, price hike. Okay, because of price hike, then the gears also, your hiking gears also, the safety hunt, the belt all gets more expensive. So then people will notice the word hike. They'll notice that, oh, hike related to price hike, but you're actually talking about hiking. So this is unexpected. All right, so try yourself, try to actually blend in the element of mystery, the element of surprise, right? Make them unexpected. Make something unexpected, and they will remember. Okay. So next letter, I'll show you straight away. I'm not going to answer you. Okay, concrete. C is for concrete. Okay, but the concrete that I mean here is not the concrete that you use to construct building. No, right? The concrete here means very clear, right? You can make something which is totally abstract, very, very clear, very vivid. Okay, so I hope you means you can make something very jelas lah, sangat nyata, right? Walaupun konsep itu, teori itu sangat abstract, tapi you boleh make your audience to really visualize what you are seeing. Okay, so let's try to run through a few lines. You have to follow with me, okay. Okay, don't think of a pink elephant wearing sunglasses riding a skateboard. Okay, don't think about it. Okay, don't think about it. Don't think of a pink elephant wearing sunglasses riding a skateboard. Okay, I asked you don't think, right? Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you actually saw a pink elephant in your mind wearing sunglasses riding a skateboard? If you see a pink elephant in your mind, you say yes. Right? Okay. Any more yeses? Right. So this is a trick, lah. Right? This is a trick of how you can make something concrete. Okay, you ask them, don't do it. Right? You ask them, don't follow you. They will follow. Right? So in fact, I think you can even picture very clearly in your mind, like, oh, a pink elephant wearing sunglasses, riding a skateboard. This is also unexpected. Right? Now you are actually also bringing in the you into your slides. Right? Remember, just now we talked about unexpected. Now you are blending in with concrete. Okay. Next one. Okay, I want you to imagine success. Can you imagine success? Can or not? Okay. So maybe you can, right? But it's not very clear, right? You are still, what is success? You are still reflecting. Okay. Now compare with this. Okay, I want you to imagine yourself walking onto a stage during your convocation. Okay, 200 people stood up, they clapped for you, and someone actually presented to you an award for being maybe the best student award. And then your parents are smiling in the front row. So which one is more clear? I ask you to imagine success, or I give you a set of description. Okay, imagine yourself going onto the stage, 200 people clap for you, someone give you an award. Which one is clearer, the first one or the second one? Which one is more concrete? Right? So I think all of you can agree with me, right? It is actually the second one. Right? So yes, okay. So this is another trick that you can do lah, right? To make things more concrete. Okay, last one, right? Imagine you're holding a fresh lemon, right? Yellow color one. Okay, not orange, lemon. Okay, you just bought it from Jaya Grocer. Okay, you feel the roughness of the skin. Okay, the skin of the lemon is a bit rough, right? Then you take a knife, you cut it in half, right? You take a knife, you cut it in half all the way, right? Then you squeeze the half of the lemon, right, the juice, directly into your mouth. Okay. So now I want to ask you, any one of you actually felt sour? Yes or no? Any of you actually felt that it is sour? It's a bit, suddenly you can taste lemon. Okay, maybe yes lah, right? Maybe yes. Oh, sweet. Oh, your lemon is sweet. Where you bought it from? I don't know where you got the sweet lemon. You can share with us, right? So yeah, so this is how you can make your ideas more concrete lah. Okay, you imagine that someone that you speak to, he knows nothing about what you are talking about. So you have to tell them from A to Z as clearly as possible. All right. So this is the meaning of concrete. Okay. I think I still got one more, right? If I tell you, okay, a project costs 5 million ringgit. Okay. Can you imagine how much is 5 million ringgit? How many of you have actually held 5 million ringgit cash in your hand? Anyone? Anyone has actually hold 5 million ringgit cash at one time in your hand? Okay, Monopoly don't play lah. We are talking about real money. Okay, cannot say very safe answer, right? So, okay, so that means I think all of us maybe we don't really know lah how much is 5 million ringgit. Okay, now I put in some instructions, some description lah. Okay, imagine you stack your 50 ringgit notes. Okay, you stack them one by one. Okay, how tall would that tower of 50 ringgit be? Okay, it will be taller than a 2-story house. So when I put it in this manner, right, now you can already picture, oh, so this is how much 5 million ringgit. How much is 5 million ringgit? This is how much. Okay, now you can already see. Okay, so if you are living in a 2-story house, now when you exit your house, you see, you can imagine already, you can already see a tower of 50 ringgit note, right, in front of you. Okay, so in short, if you want to make things concrete, right? You want to make it very solid, right? You don't want your audience to imagine, hey, is it like this or is it like that, right? So be as concrete as possible. All right, so this is the third letter. Okay, so S is simple, U is unexpected, C is concrete. Okay, so now we are almost halfway through already. Now, what's the next letter? Tell me what's the next letter. I just want to make sure you are still with me. Okay, next letter is C. Okay, good. Right. I'm going to show you a few things and then you try to tell me lah. You let me know what is the C, the second C. Okay, when you see banana, what do you think of banana? What do you think of banana? Any one of you know what is banana or not? I know some of our participants may be very young lah. Okay, maybe they will follow news through TikTok or Thread or maybe Instagram, right? Facebook no more lah. Facebook is for us lah, the dinosaur era, right? We are the dinosaur generation. The young ones, they don't use Facebook anymore, right? Okay, yes, Banama is actually our official, I think, news agency lah, under the government one. I think under the Ministry of Information or something. I stand corrected lah. Okay, but all the news that comes from Banama, they should be true lah. Correct or not? Right? So all the news, if you want to make sure that the news is not fake news, you have to check lah whether it's coming from Banama or not. Do you agree? Yes or no? Okay, so I hope it's a yes lah. Okay. Right. Next one. Okay, you have your opinion. No, okay, from AI, fine. But yeah, I mean, by right, Bernama should be the official news portal for Malaysia lah. Okay. Okay, now the next person. Who is this? Who is this person? Right in the middle. Don't tell me you don't know him, huh? You are Malaysian. Okay, badminton player. Okay, Dato Lee Chong Wei. Okay. Okay, I guess the rest of you who remain silent, I hope you know who is he lah. Right, he's a badminton legend. All right, and so he has a lot of achievement. Right, so in fact, I guess, right, if you want to learn badminton, how to play badminton, probably if you can learn from him, then maybe you are among the best lah, right? So this is Lee Chong Wei lah. Okay, next one. Who is this? Who's the next person? Third person. I mean the third image. Malaysian chef. What's his name? What is his name? Chef One, yes, right? So Chef One, he is known for his cooking lah, right? I think all of us here, Malaysians, we all can kind of agree lah that he's one of the best cook, right? An icon lah of cooking, culinary in Malaysia, correct? All right. So now, okay, these three images, right? They actually have one similarity, and that similarity is related to the second letter of C. Okay, thank you, Dr. Rizwan bin Ismail. Wow, now I know his full name. Thank you for that. Right, I only know him as Chef One. Okay, so now going back to our discussion, right? The second C. Okay, when you see the news coming from Bernama, right? We should know that it is true lah. It's not fake news, right? When we hear of Lee Chong Wei commentating about badminton, right? Commenting about our badminton player skills, how he can improve, how she can improve further, right? I think we will generally accept that, right? And then when we want to learn how to cook, okay, I don't know about Chef One's dish. Can some of you name me what is Chef One's signature dish? Those who cook, right? Those who cook often or eat, have a meal before in his restaurant, right? I think he has a restaurant, right? Can you tell me what is his signature dish? Can some of you tell me what is his signature dish or any dish that you have makan before, right? Or maybe his recipe, girl, right? Or you bought his, I don't know whether he produced any sambal or whatever, right? Boleh lah, boleh kongsi lah apa recipe, apa signature dish of Chef One. I know that dia pun ada jual sambal ni, macam Khairul Aming kan, right? I think he also has his own sambal. Other than that, what else? I don't know lah. Sorry lah, I really don't know. But I genuinely want to know. Okay, you pun tak tahu. Tak apalah, tak apalah. Okay, okay. Just assume lah. Since we all tak tahu, just assume that Chef One cooks the best nasi lemak, right? The best nasi lemak. So you want to learn how to cook nasi lemak, you have to follow his recipe. So that means, yes, I think Catherine already given the answer, right? The second letter of C actually means credible. Credible, right? Bernama is a credible source of news, right? Lee Chong Wei is a credible badminton player. In fact, he is incredible. It's not credible, it's incredible. Okay, Chef One as well, right? If he asks you, put the garlic first, don't put the onion first, I think you will listen. Why? Because they are credible. Sebab mereka ada reputasi. Okay, sebab mereka ada track record, sebab mereka amat berpengalaman, right? Because they are experts. They are credible people. So coming back to our presentation skill, right? Okay, if you want to make people really listen to you, right? If you want them to really trust and believe in what you say, you have to be someone credible in that area. Okay, you have to be very good in that topic that you are talking about. Okay, for example, if you want to train someone to swim, definitely you yourself have to know how to swim first, right? Definitely you need to be licensed, you need to know how to swim on your own first. Otherwise, how can you expect your trainees to be trained to swim? Okay, so same thing, if you talk about an engineering topic and you are not an engineer, right? I don't think people will listen to you. Maybe they'll listen to you, maybe they'll appear to listen to you, but at the end, they may not trust what you say because you lack the credibility. Okay, and so then maybe you might want to ask me the next question. Okay, how many of you are teachers or lecturers here? How many of you are actually teacher or lecturer or maybe a trainer, course provider, training provider? How many of you are one of them? Can you just say yes lah? Yeah, I give you 10 seconds. If no, it's okay. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, so none of you are trainers, none of you are teachers, none of you are lecturers, fine, right? But if you happen to know someone who is a lecturer, your friend or a teacher, right? You can teach them this skill up. Okay. Let's say they are teaching about one chapter. Okay, but they are not very familiar with the chapter. But they have to teach that chapter because it is part of the syllabus. So in order for you to make the students, to really learn better, to actually believe in what is to be taught to them, why not you invite someone who is expert in that field, right? Invite him or her, come in and talk to your students and lecture to your students, right? So in this case, you are actually borrowing, right, the credibility of someone. It's fine, okay? But if you yourself are the trainer, right, and you are really training about that specific topic, you want people to listen to you, to believe in what you say, right? First, you have to get their respect first, okay? Credibility. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. Why you want to? Okay, first of all, why you sign up for this course? I mean, why you sign up for this training? Other than the fact that it's free. Okay, maybe it's free lah. It's because of it's free. But any other reason other than free? Other than topic is interesting? Maybe lah. Maybe I don't know. You tell me. Okay, you tell me why you sign up. Okay, you want to learn a new technique on presentation. Okay. Other than that, why do you sign up? Because you are too free, is it? Okay, HRDF, okay, related, fine. Okay. But okay lah, my point is, I don't know about you, but if it is me, right, if I want to choose a certain learning topic, okay, other than just blindly signing up, right, I'll also look at the credential of the trainer. I'll also do some background search, see whether the trainer is he really conversant in what he's talking about, he or she, right? So that's me lah. Okay, so that's me lah, right? Maybe not for you, but I would choose the topic where the trainer or the speaker is credible lah to some extent before I actually invest my time into listening to him or her. All right, so you got the C right, credible. Okay, so if you want to be an incredible presenter, try to incorporate the element of credibility in your presentation lah. Okay, next one. Okay, read this, okay, and tell me how you feel. Every day, 8,500 children die from preventable causes. How do you feel after reading this point? We will take the Q&A later lah, right? Let me try to let's walk through all the 7 letters first. Okay, I will answer your question later. Okay, so if you are a typical human being, I think you will feel sad, right? If you read this kind of sad statement, right? Every day, 8,500 people, 8,500 children die from preventable causes, right? Do you agree with me that you will feel sad if you learn about this? Do you feel sad? Or is there any other feeling that you feel, right? It's sad, right? Okay. Now, read this. Okay, Aisha is only 7 years old, but she has just been diagnosed with diabetes. Okay, so how do you feel? How do you feel about Aisha? Only 7 years old. How do you feel? Yeah, you feel pity, right? You feel pity. Yeah, you feel ayo, right? So you feel even sadder, correct or not? You feel even more miserable, okay? Compared to reading 8,500 children die from preventable causes, right? Now you see that you can already imagine there's an individual, there's a small kid small girl named Aisha, right, 7 years old, has diabetes. Right? So I think you will agree with me that you feel more sad, lah, right? Next one. Our hospital successfully treated 98% of the patients. How do you feel? How do you feel about this news? Let's say this is a news, right? The hospital is doing very well, able to treat 98 out of 100 patients. How do you feel? Right? You feel awesome, you feel proud, right? You feel happy, right? It's a very pleasant feeling. Okay. Now I show you the next one. 3 months ago, right? Mutu walked into our hospital unable to stand because of an accident. Okay. Today, 3 months later, he just completed a full marathon. Now you tell me, how do you feel about the second statement, Mutu? Compared to the hospital, which one do you feel is, you have a stronger feeling? Which one makes you having a stronger feeling, the hospital or Mutu? Mutu, right? You feel strong, you feel stronger with Aisha, you feel stronger with Mutu because, you know why? Because you are actually able to be connected, more connected, right? More connected, right? You can feel it more, you really can feel it like it's very sad. Okay. Now let me ask you another question. Of course, I cannot see your hand, right? How many of you, when you watch a movie, you actually cry? Have you cried before after watching a movie? You can raise your hand. Actually here also you can raise your hand. You can click react one. I don't know whether you play around. I think there's a react button. Okay, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, you can just type. How many of you have actually cried after watching a movie? You just say yes, or you can raise your hand, or you give me a thumbs up. Okay, no one is going to judge you, right? Don't need to be shy. You don't know each other, right? So if you have really cried before after watching a movie, okay, just give me a reaction. Okay, maybe after watching the MJ recent movie, right? Michael Jackson or whatever movie, Titanic, right? Have you actually cried before? During or after a movie? Yes, no? If no, you say no lah. Okay. Only one thumbs up. The rest of you, wow, very, very neutral person, is it? Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, maybe not cry lah. Okay, but maybe almost want to cry. Okay. The tears want to come out already, but stuck there. Okay, for some reason. Okay. So now, okay. Now you ask yourself, the movie, is it real? The movie isn't real, right? It's not real, right? It is an act. But yet, why do you still cry? So now, all these 6 points, yes, you got the E letter right. Catherine is always very smart. I think she's always a top student, right? The E actually stands for emotion. Emotion, right? If you can present, when you present, if you can connect to the person's emotion, that will make your message very, very powerful. And you will remember it for a long time because they have touch your emotion, right? That make you feel extremely happy or extremely sad or extremely angry. Actually, this is what the politicians are really good at. Okay, I don't know whether you can agree with me or not, right? I think recently we had state election in Johor, right? Coming, there will be Negeri Sembilan. So you can see all these politicians, the way they give ceramah, okay? They'll be very agitated, right? Try to they'll try to touch your emotion. They'll try to make you feel very strongly against their opponent or something like that, right? So E is emotion, right? Remember that, okay? Not emotional, huh? You yourself don't be emotional, okay? But I want you to try to touch on the emotion of your participants, okay? Right. So next one, second last letter S. Okay, I think we have to speed up already. Almost 1 hour. Okay. Answer me. What was the first lesson you learned as a child? Okay. What do you listen to before you sleep as a child? I think you can already guess. What is the S? Okay, start with S. Okay, start with S. Okay. Okay, maybe for you it's song, right? Never mind, you all keep guessing until you get it right. Song is a possibility, lah. Sound is also a possibility. But what is that? You know, when you watch those, is a word, yes, start from S. You know, when you watch those Hollywood movies lah, all those Western movies lah, those kids, right, before they sleep, right, their parents will do what to them to make them sleep? Huh? What would the parents do to them to make them sleep? They will, yes, they will tell a story, right? They will tell bedtime story, okay? Right? So now, S, the second last letter is story lah. So if you can package your presentation into a story, right? You have the beginning, and then you have the climax, and then you have the end, right? A complete story, then we can follow easier, right? It's easier for us to follow, right? I give you some examples. To the left is all the data. AI reduced cost by 30%. Maybe you immediately forget about this point already. But if I say, convert it into a story, okay? Because of AI, an engineer can now finish his work earlier, and then he can make it to his son's birthday party, right? So that's a story, right? I think you can remember the story better than the data, right? Carbon emissions reduce, right? Instead of saying carbon emissions has reduced by 20%, you can say the air now becomes cleaner for our children to play outside. Okay, so make it into a story. All right, so that's the second S, the second last S, and the last S is actually simulation. Let me ask you, I think all of you have flown before, right? Everyone can fly with AirAsia or Mars or whatever. So would you board a plane where the pilot only learns how to fly a plane by reading a book? Yes or no? Yes or no? The pilot, the juruterbang tu, dia cuma belajar dari buku je. Tak pernah ada practical, tak pernah actually practice flying an actual plane. No, right? So I think some of you are drivers here. Okay. Ada siapa-siapa yang memandu hanya baca buku undang tu je? Rasanya tak lah, kan? I'm sure you have ada driving instructor kat sebelah you, and then you have to practice lah. Okay. Even dulu you belajar guna manual, gear manual, I think sekarang dah auto kan. Even auto pun you kena practice juga. Okay, sebelum you boleh memandu, kan? Okay, now I'm going to ask everyone to close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes. Right, close your eyes. Okay, so imagine you have spent 3 months. Right, imagine you have spent 3 months preparing for the biggest presentation of your career. Right, you close your eyes, you just listen to me. Imagine you have spent 3 months preparing for the biggest presentation of your career. Right? Okay. And then now the CEO is in the front row, sitting in the front row, right in front of you. Okay. And then investors are watching online, right? You are making a presentation to get funding for your project. And so the investors are actually watching online. Okay. And this presentation, okay, can decide whether you can get that 5 million ringgit to start your project or not. Right? So CEOs are in the front. You are making a presentation to secure 5 million ringgit. Okay, and the investors are watching. Okay, so now you open back your eyes now. Okay, I'm sure some of you can feel the pressure building up. Okay, right? I assume lah. So I think some of you may already feel very anxious, nervous, right? Because this presentation can bring you 5 million ringgit. Right? So the moral of the story is, if you want to make your participants to learn better from you, okay, you have to make them experience, right? You have to simulate a scenario for them to learn. Maybe ask them to do a role play, right? Or you bring them to an actual setting. Let's say if you give training about construction, you bring them, maybe you do it in an actual construction site, right? So that they can simulate, you can bring the as actual, as authentic environment as possible to them. Because we learn better by experiencing, not just by listening. I think now maybe you listen to me, you only can get 30%. But if I actually make you do presentation, right, using the success framework, then you will learn even better. Okay, so I think time is up already. I think I'm going to wrap it up. So these are the key takeaways. Okay, after this, I hope you can just pick any letter from success. Okay, after this, don't go and straight away use all 7 letters in your presentation. No, I think it's impossible also. Okay, but let's say in your next presentation, right? Maybe you can try, okay, maybe I can make my presentation a bit more unexpected. Do it lah. Okay, try to make some of your slides to be unexpected, right? Or you want to try to tell a story. Okay, do it. Right? Practice. Okay, and after you have done the presentation, you try to observe. Okay, whether are the participants, able to get what you say. You can observe You can observe their behavior. You can observe their reception. Right? You can test their understanding. Right? So I think that is all. I just want to have a quick question. So maybe quick recap lah. Can all of you tell me what's the first S? Without needing to refer to anything. Okay, then what's U? Let's see if you can remember or not. C. Simple, unexpected. What's C? Concrete. The next C. Credible. Okay. E. What is E? Emotion. And finally S. No, there's one more S. What is the 6th S? The 6th letter. Sorry. And finally, is the simulation. Okay, see, you don't need to memorize one. I don't need to ask you to memorize the 7 letters. Okay, you can tell me because you can relate to it. Okay, all right. So that is how I want you to practice lah. Okay, if at the end of the day, right, after you have completed your presentation, you ask your participants and they can tell you what you want them to learn from you, I think you are already very successful. Okay, so I mean, that is all from me. You can also contact me lah. The number is there. I do occasionally do coaching or presentation, one-to-one, right? If you want me to do a proper training workshop, you can also WhatsApp me lah, right? And lecturing, if any of you are lecturers, you can also contact me lah. Okay, so I think that is all the time that I have with you. Thank you, terima kasih, 谢谢, arigato, 감사합니다. Right. Those of you who is interested in the recording, okay, you can also drop me an email. All right, I'll probably upload it to YouTube and I'll share with all of you lah. I hope you all have learned something from me. All right, and thank you all for turning up 16 out of 97. Appreciate it. All right, thank you. Bye bye. Okay, back to your question. I don't know, someone asked me one question, right? I need to answer first. Credible means either you make yourself to be very expert before you go and talk about the topic, right? You make yourself as an expert, that will take time, or you can actually get an expert from the industry to come in and talk to your audience. Okay, so it's not really about presenting a summary of what you have done. Okay, maybe, right? Maybe you can. At the beginning, yes. Actually, if I have more time, I would have presented more about myself, lah. All right. But yeah, you have a point there, Jing Mei. Yeah, you can actually, assuming you have a good track record, right? You can first start by introducing yourself, who you are, how experienced are you in the topic. Then the audience will be more confident in what you are about to say. Okay, I hope you have I've answered your question. All right, so I think that's all. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. I don't know, someone raise your hand. You want to ask something? Raise your hand to ask something, right? You can unmute yourself. Okay, if you don't have any question, I assume you have accidentally clicked on the raise button. Okay, so I'll end the session. So anything you can just WhatsApp me or you can just drop me an email. Right, take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.